Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Up the River, Down the Bayou. I'm Eric Richey, and so glad you're with us. We've got an awesome show for you today. We're going to go both up the river and down the bayou as usual. In just a moment, we'll head over to St. Charles Catholic and bring in head coach Wayne Stein. Just a moment later, we'll go down the bayou, down to Houma, and check in with Vandebilt head coach Brian Wallace. Our team of the week is the St. James Wildcats, getting ready for a big homecoming game after a tough one last week. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. We're going to have a little volleyball a little bit later too and check in on some of our River and Bayou volleyball teams. But for now, let's head over to St. Charles Catholic, and that's where we join head football coach, athletic director Wayne Stein. Coach Wayne, congratulations. You're the first guest that ever beat me onto the mic check here. You were on there before I even got on. Prompt as usual. Welcome to the show. How's it going for you?
Hey, Eric. Thanks for having me, first of all. And it's going well. You know, it's been a little bit uncommon territory for us at St. Charles Catholic, but been very proud of the way our kids and our coaches have handled adversity and have played hard, continue to still play hard and do the things that Comets do. Have come up short in a couple games, but had a big win against Terrebonne on Friday night.
Right. And that's what I was just going to get to. And again, for those that aren't keeping up or know what's going on, you're talking about a team that's perennially in the state championship game. They've lost their first 4 games of the season. Injuries, a lot of youth and inexperience, a lot of close games, a lot of tough opponents. But not only did you win last week, Coach, some of the things that I saw that you said afterwards, you beat Terrebonne in overtime, and you had challenged your players to kind of find some of that Comet dust, remind themselves what it's like to play like a Comet. How would you define, I guess, first of all, the win and how big that was to get off a losing streak like that in the manner in which you did, but also reminding those players, those young guys, what it's like to be a Comet?
Yeah, you know, uncharted territory here, you know, being 0-4 and having to convince your kids that you're still one of the best teams around, you know, and so I thought in every game that we had lost, there was a moment or two that we had an opportunity to win. And usually that's something that we had done in the past. We had found a way to win. You know, we had that, like Skip Burtman used to say, that how to win awareness. And so Terrebonne came down. You know, I made a poor coaching decision. And I just implored my kids to pick me up. They drove down and scored with no time left. It looks like, oh, no, it's going to happen again. And then we found a way to block the PAT and got to overtime and played extremely well in overtime. Defense made a stop, and offense scored in 2 plays. So I think that's what I meant, just having a way, finding a way, it not always being pretty. We've never cared how we've won. We've never cared about stats, offense, defense, special teams. We just want to play complementary football, and I thought we finally did that Friday night.
Coach, usually I can just name the entire starting lineup for St. Charles on both sides of the ball, but this year, a lot of new faces. Obviously, Skylar Edwards, a guy who was banged up early in the season. He scores 3 touchdowns for you, including that game winner in OT last week against Terrebonne. But mention some of the players, some of the leaders of this new-look Comet team, and tell me a little bit more about your sophomore QB.
Yeah, so defensively, you know, we're led by Shane Zimmerman, our defensive end, who's undersized, but he plays extremely hard, and he's kind of the emotional leader of the whole team. And then Rashawn Hullaire, who's a 3-year starter, who plays nickelback for us, and he comes off the edge a lot. And then, you know, we've had some great play out of our safety, Dax Prejean. You know, the name is common, right? He's the third of Prejeans that we've had.
Right.
And, you know, so we those are guys that have had some experience that are still playing well. I don't think, Eric, like I've been telling everybody, I don't think we have a talent gap. I just think you just hit on the head. We have an experience gap. Guys haven't been out there yet. They've been in the program. They know what to do. They know how to do it, but they have to get out there and fail at it first before they really know where all the bones are buried. So we did lose 17 every down starters from last year, and those are guys that had played for quite a few years. Offensively, we're led by the left side of our offensive line in left guard Matt Lang, who's a 3-year starter, and left tackle Jacques Vigner. And then after that, skill-wise, you know, we obviously have Noah Tucker, who's a commit to Arkansas State, who has some experience, but then Skylar Edwards, who's really our bell cow. And, you know, early on we struggled to adjust. We had kind of built the offense around him, lost him after the jamboree. I mean, after the scrimmage, he probably was 80% against De La Salle, maybe 90% against St. James. And we felt last week he was finally 100%. So it's been good to have him back. You know, so those are really kind of the main guys that have kind of led. But we've had some guys play well. You know, our sophomore quarterback gets a little bit better every week. And Landry LeBlanc, he's got a lot of work to do. He works hard at it. He's a starter in baseball as a freshman, so I don't think the scene's too big for him. He just needs experience.
Excellent. All right, let's shift and talk about you as a coach. And I know, you know, obviously when I started River Parish football back in 2010, you were in a 17-year run as an assistant at St. Charles, 16 of those as defensive coordinator. And you know, I used to love, you know, St. Charles was one of the most successful programs when we started that site. So obviously we were at, you know, covering you guys quite a bit those early years. And, you know, you were so emotional and demonstrative on the sideline, made for great video. You know, now you're a head coach and gosh, what is this, your 4th year? All 3 years you've been the head coach. You've been to the state championship, winning it your first 2 years, finishing as the state runner-up this past season. Let me ask you this. How would you describe Wayne Stein as a coach? How do you describe yourself as a head coach?
Well, I would hope, first of all, you know, I'm a lifelong assistant the way I feel, you know, so I hope somebody that treats his assistants well and trust his assistants. Secondly, I would hope somebody that demands from his players but understands his players, you know, just wants the best from them. I thought the things that Coach Monica left here was he had high expectations for everybody, you know, and I have high expectations for my kids and have high expectations for our athletic program. And sometimes, you know, I think sometimes my players, you know, take a step back and like, whoa, you know, you're asking a lot. You know, I told them yesterday, you know, my goal is to be a top 100 team in the country, you know, every single year. And we're not going to be able to do that with just rolling out 4- and 5-star athletes. So we have to act a certain way. We have to prepare a certain way. And so we've been blessed to have really, really good football players. We're averaging signing about 1 Division I guy a year. But most of our guys are going to play for the love of the game. And the last time they put the Comet jersey on, that's going to be it. So I would hope as a coach, I could say I'm consistent. I could say that, you know, I have energy. I could say that I'm understanding. And I could say that I don't hold grudges. You know, we might have a negative moment, myself and another player, and then I move on from it. And I hope that they move on from it as well. So obviously I thought I learned from the best, and I took the things, I took all of Coach Monica's good qualities, and I tried to incorporate them. And if there was something that I didn't think was a good quality, I said, well, I'm not going to do that. So, but I learned so much, and I think I was blessed to be able to be an assistant for 17 years at a high-level program, to make high-level decisions, and not be in a rush to be a head coach.
So you bring up your uncle, Frank Monica, obviously just inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, well-deserved honor. He's been in numerous Hall of Fames now. He has a podcast on Varsity Sports now, Let's Be Frank. Obviously, he's been your mentor. He's been your uncle. Tell me what you learned, some of those good things that you just mentioned. You said you wanted to take some of those good things. And I've always heard some of those phrases that you use. There's more than one way to Chicago, and, you know, showing up well early than you're supposed to. Some of those things that are embedded from Coach Monica. Tell us and elaborate some on some of the good things, the best things that Coach Monica instilled in you as a head coach.
Well, I think just accountability. And I mean, when I mean accountability, I mean, you know, for yourself, accountability, asking a lot from your assistants, you know, not having kids or adults wonder what you're thinking, you know. So a lot of people don't want to be corrected, or they don't want to bring up the issue. I think I learned that from him. Like, you know, let's hit something head on. Let's not go talk behind closed doors about what so-and-so is not doing. Let's go directly to the source and tell them the expectations, even when it comes to from a school standpoint. So I think that honesty part, obviously the intensity part and that I think that I bring to both sports comes from him. And I think a preparation, what a lot of people do and don't know about Coach Monica is, he could have stayed and been a figurehead for however long he wanted to be, right? And let his assistants do all the work. But he never wanted to be that. I think, it was hard to beat him to the office. It was hard to check huddle film and see that you log more time than him. And those were all things I tried to do as an assistant. I think that he showed you that the head coach, whether people know it or not or see it, has to work harder than everybody else. And I think those are the values on top of doing things right and winning the right way and being proud of the product you put on the field are the main things that I've learned and took away from him.
Excellent. Well put. All right. You brought up something a little earlier about wanting your team to be a top 100 in the nation. Every year you want St. Charles Catholic to be mentioned amongst the best schools in the country. And I know the first time you told me it wasn't just football either, right? It was the entire athletic program. Kind of describe what you meant there. And, a couple years into this process, where are you at achieving what you're trying to get the Comet athletic program to be on a national scale?
Right. And first off, Eric, what I'm very proud of is, and I tell this to my parents and even prospective students, this isn't IMG. It's a school. It's a school that I believe in. It's a school that I'm proud to be an alumni of. But I also am very proud of what we've accomplished, especially in the last 20 years, right? This is year 21 for me. I've been in an amazing run. I've had the capability, or I've been blessed in football to coach in 9 state championships. We won 3, but I had the opportunity to coach in 9. That's a career for most people.
Yeah.
In baseball, I've had the opportunity to coach in 11 state championships. So, I have buddies that have been in the business for 30, 40 years. I've never been to one. So
Yep.
I'm spoiled, but I just want to put nationally on the map what our kids do. I think we have a great staff. I think we have a great athletic staff. I think we have great administration. And I'm very proud of the product that gets put on the field. And I just want to do my best as the leader of that athletic program to tell its story. And I do believe that you have to have lofty goals. If you want to keep people, you want people to come to your school, you want to keep assistants. And again, I said it, and I know a lot of people make it kind of sound like it's a 2 to 4 year process. I mean, we went up to 4A, which is the first step that we hope if we can grow enrollment, grow the amount of people that come to our school, that one day compete in the Catholic League. Now, I have to make that decision as an athletic director, not just for football and baseball, but make sure that the other sports are up to par to compete and things of that nature as well. So, again, these are goals. These are not saying they're definitely going to happen. Hey, we may play 4A for 2 years, and if I think as an AD what's best for my athletic program is to play in the classification that we were put in, which would be 3A, then we would. So there's a lot of moving parts to it, but I think it's an exciting time to be a Comet. I think the adversity what we're facing now is something that's good for our program. I think we have been spoiled for a while, and maybe myself included. So, but I'm proud of the way that we've handled it thus far, coaches, kids, administration as well. And we're just going to continue to try to get better. And all our administration at St. Charles, no matter who's been the principals ever asked, is that you get the most out of your teams. Not every team can win a state championship. Obviously, in football and baseball, that's the standard. That's kind of what we live and die by. But a lot of our programs are making great strides and great steps in winning record numbers of games and getting further than they ever have before. So, we had a school record in wins in girls soccer last year, went to the quarterfinal. School record in wins in boys soccer, went to the quarterfinal. School record in wins in basketball, went to the quarterfinal. So we also runner-up in boys swimming. So I am proud that I think we are a well-rounded athletic program.
Yeah, no, you just brought up great examples too of, your boys basketball team, super excited, both boys and girls soccer. I didn't know that about swimming, but congratulations there as well. So let's talk a little bit about another thing that you brought up. And I remember, the day that, it was announced that Coach Monica was stepping down. You were stepping into his role. And the big question was baseball. You'd have been the baseball coach for so long, athletic director duties, head football coaching duties, and head baseball coaching duties. You said, hey, I might be crazy, but I'm going to stick around as long as I know that I'm doing something good for this program and I feel like I'm helping. And you certainly are enjoying it, right? Because in football season, you love football. Baseball season, you love baseball. You win a couple of state championships in baseball. And you step away. Coach Ty has now moved on. You came back. And I think you've already proclaimed that you're going to be back again this spring. Bring us up to date on where you stand as far as the head Comet baseball coach.
Yeah, so I felt like whenever it was time for me to step away from it, I did it for a couple of reasons, but one of them obviously was for Ty to coach his son his senior year. And then when he moved on, I felt like it was what was best for the program, maybe not best for me and my family, but to take the job back. And so I did. And then I didn't think I could come into a program of that stature and just be a lame duck coach, say I'm just going to be here for 1 year and do it. So I went back to basically what I said before. I'm going to take it on a year-by-year basis. I'm not naive to think that I can be the head football and baseball and AD for 10 years. I don't know if I can do it for 5 years, but I'm going to take it on a year-by-year basis. I will be the head baseball coach next year. And then, I have a son who's going to enter St. Charles Catholic the following year. So I don't know. I can't give you an exact timeline. Me and my wife discuss it every year. She's the one that probably holds the biggest burden from it because there's not an off time. There's not a time where dad can bring kids to travel ball or soccer or whatever it may be. So she's really kind of raising that thing on her own, although we do have a lot of help. But those are the questions that I have to answer more. As far as being out there, man, I got to tell you, I love it.
You can tell.
When I'm on a diamond, I'm not thinking about football. When I'm on a football field, I'm not thinking about baseball. Because when we grew up, Eric, that's what you did.
Yeah.
And, most of my kids that are here are the same way. The best football players are most of the time the best baseball players as well. We don't have a whole lot of single sport athletes. So it's not like I'm missing out on something or they're missing out on something.
Well put. And look, as a fellow baseball lover, I'm right with you, man. It'd be hard to give up something you love. And props to your wife, to your family for understanding, right? That's just the way of life in the Stein family. But to continue to do that, and now I know, now you got a son coming into the program, that changes everything. Okay, so when I'm doing my homework for the show, I'm looking at the schedule and I do a double take and I got to read it again. I got to look at my notes because I can't memorize the name of the school you're playing Friday. The Legacy School of Sports Science of Texas. Who the heck are they, and how are they coming over here to Comet Land to play a football game?
Yeah, so not to be arrogant, but scheduling is not easy for the Comets. So being put in a small district, we had to find 7, pre-district games. And so you get into that spot and there's a handful of teams that are open. We went back and forth with talking about playing us in Destrehan. I kind of fell through, and the school kind of reaches out. Now they're a school that is kind of like a mini IMG. Sports is their focus. They have athletes all over the place. That quarterback is committed to Houston. He's one of the top quarterbacks in Texas. They have one wide receiver committed to Arizona State, another with an Ohio State offer, a linebacker that's committed to Air Force, and a center that's committed to Texas A&M. So I can't blame anybody because I made the schedule. I do know this. If, after playing Friday night and with the people that we've just played in Terrebonne, St. James, De La Salle, Dunham, Newman, we're going to be prepared. If we get in the playoffs, there's nobody that's going to sneak up on us and we're going to say, oh, we hadn't seen this before. So I think our kids are battle tested. I just want them to go play like winners and play like champions. And then whatever happens on the scoreboard happens on the scoreboard.
Man, that's going to be a fun one to watch. Absolutely. And props to you for scheduling a team with all these D1 commits. That's unbelievable. Okay. Parting question for you. And again, I go back to something that you said earlier. You brought up those schools like, Dunham was 20-15, De La Salle 10-0, St. James 15-11. I mean, these scores are so close. You're a play or two away from this record almost being inverted. So as you get ready to play a school from Texas, that's a mini IMG with D1 guys all over the place. Tell us your thoughts on, your confidence level of, it's almost blasphemy that you said if we make the playoffs, but it looks like, I think at number 16 right now, in the latest PowerPoints that I looked at, you're going to make the playoffs. And you still feel that this Comet team can make a run. Why do you feel that way?
Well, kind of you just hit it on the nose. I mean, in all honesty, and I think I hate to even say this because I think this is what losing programs say, but we're 6 to 8 plays away from being 5-0, and so we've played solid defense, right? We've had some lapses at time. Offensively, we've kind of had to find our identity, new offensive coordinator. He's learning what goes on here and things of that nature. Sophomore quarterback. I do think the goal here is still the same. The goal is still to win a state championship. We think we're one of the best teams in the division. Where we're going to fall, we don't know. But our coaching staff does a great job. Our defensive coordinator always says, it's a race to see how great you can be in the end. We've never been in this thing for, power rating. We've never been in it for a regular season record or district championships. The standard of St. Charles Catholic is judged on one thing, and that's playing on the last day of the season. So that's the expectation. That's what we're working towards. So I think that goal in mind and I did a bad job of that early, Eric. We lost to Newman. I was embarrassed. We hadn't lost a regular season game in 688 days. Then we lost to Dunham. We hadn't lost at Comet Field in 702 days. And I kept bringing up these stats. And at the end of the day, I realized none of that matters, right? It's all about how good can we get today? How good can we get? Let's get back to that whole 1-0. I know it's cliche. Let's worry about Friday. Let's be our best Friday. And 24 hours after Friday, let's flush it and move on to the next one. So I think that's what we did the last 2 weeks. We won one, lost one. I hope that is something that we can continue to do throughout the regular season and put ourselves in a good spot for playoffs.
Well, it's been a fun run for sure, and it's going to be an exciting conclusion. And that's the great thing about sports, the ultimate reality TV. No one knows the outcome. That's what makes it so great, and it's going to be fun just following your program, Coach, and watching you along. And it all starts this Friday against the Legacy School of Sports Science of Texas. We wish you the best. Thanks as always for being on the program, and just best of luck with your program. And again, like you said, moments after losing a state championship last year, it's like we've had almost an embarrassment of riches lately. Maybe a little adversity is going to teach us even a little bit more character. And I don't know if that even came out right, but I think you know what I'm saying. And I certainly wish you the best.
Thank you, Eric, and I appreciate what you do for not just high school, but particularly River Parish athletics.
Well, it's a labor of love, I can tell you that. Thanks so much. That's Coach Wayne Stein and his comments. 2-time state champion in the last 3 years. They've been to 3 state championships in a row. Time for us to take our first break here on Up the River, Down the Bayou. When we return, we're going to Houma. That's right. We're going to talk Vandebilt Catholic football in just a moment after this timeout, as this show brought to you by St. James Parish Hospital. Did you know St. James Parish Hospital's ER was recently recognized by the American Heart Association for heart attack and stroke care? When minutes count, choose St. James Parish Hospital in Letcher for emergencies. Award-winning quality care close to home.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey,
a girl's gotta fish.
We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you balling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Since 2000, Bayou Granite has grown to be Southeast Louisiana's largest fabricator of stone countertops. From precise laser measurements to state-of-the-art water jet and CNC machines, we can handle your kitchen and bath needs as well as any commercial projects. Let our expert staff design and customize the right material for your home or business. Stop by our new state-of-the-art fabrication facility and showroom today at 9622 East Main Street or call us at 985-637-4911. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Jacob Rhodes. Welcome to Terrebonne Parish Farm Bureau.
Hi, I'm Celeste Blanchard. We'd like to wish all the teams in the Bayou and River areas best of luck this season.
I'm Brandon Allen with Terrebonne Parish Farm Bureau. We got you covered for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Derek Charpentier here. Remember, Terrebonne Parish Farm Bureau. Real service, real people.
Welcome back to Up the River, and it's time to go down the bayou. Let's head down to Terrebonne Parish in particular. Let's go to Houma, Vandebilt Catholic, first-year head coach. Of course, we're talking about Brian Wallace, who not only is the first-year head coach, assistant athletic director as well. He's been coaching college, at Nichols the last 7 years, 16 years before that, all over the place. We are very happy and, proud to have him on the show. Coach Wallace, welcome to the show, and welcome to the high school football again, huh?
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Eric. I'm happy to be on here and happy to be in high school football.
Well, I know you've been, familiar, obviously, with the Bayou region, for 7 years as an assistant at Nichols, coaching safeties, coaching linebackers, special teams. You've been all over the place. Tell us what it's like to be back on the high school front, leading a program as the head coach and having some great success off to a 5-1 start out of the gate.
Well, it's been fun. This is my first time in high school, so I didn't know what to expect, but the transition's been phenomenal just because of the people here at Vandebilt. The administration and the players are just great. The work ethic, their attitudes, just so easy, so coachable. Got a great staff that I was allowed to hire. So it's been fun so far. Just trying to learn the high school ranks, the high school rules. On Friday nights, I'm yelling at the refs and they're saying, well, that's a Saturday call. So every day I'm learning new things. So, but it's been fun. And obviously, 5-1 has been really good. Our guys have responded well, played hard and bought into the culture and what we're trying to establish. So very pleased so far.
I asked Coach Wayne Stein from St. Charles Catholic the exact same question I'm about to ask you. Kind of give me your take on yourself now as a head coach. He was an assistant, for 17 years at St. Charles Catholic before taking over for his uncle, Frank Monica. What are you like now as a head coach? And tell me some of the people that your mentors who you've drawn knowledge from throughout your days as a college coach, both at your alma mater at Louisiana College and of course UL Lafayette as well. Give me the whole picture on you as a head coach.
Well, I'm probably a little bit more calm than I was as an assistant or a coordinator because the team is going to go as I go in terms of emotionally. So I try to stay more even keels on kickoff. So because if you ask other coaches, I probably have a short temper, short fuse, but. Learning under Coach Rebo for the last 9 years has been invaluable. Just to see what we were able to do at Nichols and take that program really from the bottom of the Southland and turn it into 3-time conference champs. But just seeing what it takes to get a program, the daily process, the work, the culture that we have to build, and the relationships that you have to make with the coaches and the players. So that I was very fortunate to be a part of that and learn. And even back to Louisiana College, I played and coached with Coach Dennis Dunn, who's now at North DeSoto, was at Evangel for all those years. So seeing how a guy like him who's done it, won multiple state championships at that level, and then, moved to college. So got to be able to be on a daily basis and learn from him. And obviously he's a man who's very strong in his faith, and helped me along the way in that regard. So, and then obviously being at Vandebilt Catholic has allowed me to learn and instill that here too. So I've kind of been able to see it from all different ends and all different angles, and really feel like it's helped, prepare me for this job. But, at the end of the day, I guess the main difference is being not involved as much as in the game plans as I used to be, but more in the overall organization and building the culture and instilling that on a daily basis.
And that was my follow-up question. What did you do to establish, your own culture? And obviously, you were a two-time captain linebacker as a player at Louisiana College. And I know you've coached on that defensive side quite a bit, some special teams as well. But when you get to Vandebilt Catholic, you look at your talent, you got a stud running back, you got some good skilled position players. What was your first move, and how have you established your own identity and your own program there with the Terriers?
For me, I'm a big advocate of the off season and the weight room. So everything was going to be built around how we train. Not only the physical aspect of being physically tough and strong, but mentally. So just trying to challenge the guys and build confidence in them, and so they have confidence in themselves. And, we talk about humble enough to prepare, to build confidence in our performance. So that's something we just try to instill in our guys, that look, if you're working every day, if you're busting your tail in practice in the weight room as hard as you possibly can, you should be confident when you line up Friday night to execute. So that's just kind of been our biggest thing is focus on the mental aspect of our athletes, and how they prepare for games, and instilling that.
Just looking at the results so far from the 6 games that you played already, you scored 28 points in the 3 weeks in a row, wins over Central Lafourche, John Ehret, Sulphur. You score 45 against Morgan City. You shut out against a very, very strong Letcher team, but then 64 last week against South Lafourche. Just tell me what has stood out in the early, I guess, just now over halfway part of the season. What has stood out about your football team, and what are you most proud of with this football team?
I think I'm most proud of our resiliency. Even after we won the first 3 games, I think the players were still figuring it out. And obviously we go in undefeated against Letcher. And that's an extremely well coached, hard playing football team, and that's somewhere where we're aiming to be, but we weren't ready for that game, and that's on me. But I wanted to see how we would bounce back from that loss, especially coming in 4-0, and then getting shut out, getting beat the way we did, where I felt like we got beat, like they physically beat us on the scoreboard. So very obviously disappointed in our play, but I was more looking to see how we would respond, and I thought we responded very well. We come in on Saturdays, and Saturday we came in, and our guys were ready to work. They were upset, they were displeased with how they performed, but they were ready to make it right. So that's where I really felt like we learned from that loss, and I think obviously we got better from it. There's no moral victories, but I think we learned from it, and we continue to improve every day. So that was what I was most anxious to see, is how we would respond in that way.
Responded in a big time way. Varsity Sports Now, Coach, has been live streaming Vandebilt Catholic football over the last couple years. One of the very first games we did almost 2 years ago, maybe when Jalen Coleman was a sophomore, but this young man ran wild over St. Louis Catholic in a playoff game. We've got some video of that. He scored, I think, 4 touchdowns, rushed for over 300 yards. Tell us a little bit about Jalen Coleman.
He's special. And I love talking about first, though, besides him as a run, is what type of person he is. He's a phenomenal young man in terms of his leadership, in terms of his attitude, in terms of his academics and his work ethic. I just can't say enough good things about that, because I know a lot of people just know him as number 4 and the fast guy. But it's just a product. It's just a byproduct of who he is. He's one of the hardest workers in the weight room. He's a player voted team captain, one of 6 on our team. And on top of that, on Friday nights, he's a human highlight reel. This past Friday, he had 5 rushes for 195 yards and 4 touchdowns, which, I mean, that's a ridiculous stat line. But you know what's crazy is when he's the first guy running down the sideline when the backup running back scores.
Yeah.
The backup running back scored the first touchdown of our season against Central Lafourche. The first guy to congratulate him running on the field, we had to pull him off the field because we almost got a penalty, was Jalen Coleman, because he was so excited for that, because he's a team player. I just can't say enough positive things about what he brings to our program as an athlete and as a leader and a man.
Well, he's great, and VSN has been proud to have him as a camera operator for a baseball game before, and we're big fans of his dad, the girls basketball coach too, and they got a whale of a team too. So that whole Coleman family is just thumbs up. Great people, good stuff. All right, let's talk about some of the other players in your program that you'd like to shine the spotlight on. Give us some of the names of some of the guys, and I know there's a Guidry, big, tall, left-handed pitcher that I think plays a wide receiver for you.
Yeah, James. He's a very mild-mannered, and I've tried to break him out of his shell, and he has. And he had a phenomenal game last week. He's about a 6'4", 185-pound receiver, and same type of person, works hard, and he's physical on the perimeter in his blocking, and he's a matchup nightmare because he's so big and he runs well. He has deceptive speed because he's a long strider, but he's a really good wide receiver. And then the guy throwing the ball, Jack Chestnut, I can't say enough good things about him. What we do offensively, we ask a lot of him. We put the reads and the calls in his hands. And again, him and James are both captains for our team, and James does a phenomenal job in running our offense and handling the protections and get everyone in the right position. And then obviously our offensive line, I believe, is really solid, and it's led by our senior, our returning starter, Will Newman. So that going into this year, we had to replace 4 out of the 5 O-linemen. So there's some question marks, and I think they've done a phenomenal job. Coach Arsenault coaches them up real well. And Will's the leader of that bunch.
That's awesome. All right, let's take a look at the schedule. Obviously, you're getting into, deep into district play. Ellender this Friday. Then you have Assumption, South Terrebonne, and you close out with your rivals, E.D. White. I guess start with this Friday for us, but kind of paint the picture for what's key for the Terriers the last 4 games of the regular season.
That's a tough one, Eric, because I only look 1 week at a time.
1 week at a time. All right. You know what? Forget that. I guess just give me Ellender. Tell me about Ellender.
Everyone around here, they always want to, and I just tell them, hey, we're 0-0. We got to go 1-0 today. But Ellender's a very athletic team. I think they're starting to figure it out and come into their own. And I tell the guys, obviously they're 1-5, but they're not indicative of their record, and on any given Friday night, anything can happen, especially when, they have athletes out wide. They have good quarterback. They've played some multiple guys, defensively, they can run and cause havoc. So we got to continue to prepare. And I tell our team this: we got to take the Terriers off the schedule. It's about us, and no matter who lines up across from us, it's about our execution, our effort, and how we prepare to win the game. So I expect a good matchup Friday night. I feel like yesterday we had a good day of practice, excited, good meetings today. So excited for another good practice today leading up to Friday night. And then, Saturday we'll be back to 0-0 and focus on that.
So I won't ask you about E.D. White. You're 4 weeks away.
Yeah,
I won't ask
that.
you. Thank you. Hopefully I'll come down there and see you guys in person and shine the spotlight, make one of our teams of the week. And look, we wish you the best. I hope you're enjoying it. I know you're so intense and you're into it right now, but man, congrats on just a great start, man. You're head football coach, high school at a great program like Vandebilt Catholic, 5-1. Just exciting times for you. I hope you enjoy it, and I wish you the best of luck with your team, not only this Friday against Ellender, but the remaining part of the schedule. And thanks for being with us today.
I can't say how much I appreciate you having me on, Eric, and it's just a blessing to be a Terrier. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, and everything you do for our region and our state. It's just phenomenal.
Well, we appreciate it. Labor of love is what I call it. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you on Friday, and thanks again for being on the show.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
You got it. Coach Wallace and those Terriers, again, just off to a great start, and wish them the best. Time for us to take another break here on Up the River, Down the Bayou. When we return, it's our Team of the Week. And for that, we check in with the St. James Wildcats getting ready for a big homecoming game this Friday. We'll have that story when we return.
Hi, I'm Will Sermon from St. Charles St. John Farm Bureau.
And I'm Darius Coleman, and on behalf of our entire staff, we want to wish all the area teams the best of luck this season.
Real service, real people.
Local, family-owned H. Worth Elevator Service is the name you should choose when it comes to your commercial or residential elevator needs. We offer elevator installation, repair, and maintenance services. Choose professional elevator contractors in Kenner, licensed and insured. 24/7 emergency services available, warranties available. Backed by over 4 generations of elevator mechanics. Call H. Worth Elevator Service for your elevator needs.
Hi, I'm Blaine Brignac with East and West St. James Farm Bureau. On behalf of all of us, we'd like to wish the players, the coaches, the parents, the cheerleaders, the band members, the best of luck in the River Bayou area this season. Farm Bureau, real service, real people.
Our Farm Bureau team of the week is St. James. The Wildcats coming off a tough loss against Shaw, but are squarely focused on Friday's homecoming opponent, McDonough 35. East and West St. James Farm Bureau presents the Team of the Week.
All right, when there's opportunity to make picks, make plays. You will have opportunities. Take advantage of them. Mental Monday. Let's go. Enthusiasm. It's Mental Monday, a lot of teaching, installing.
Spill, fit. He stays outside.
If they see you out there, throw to Houston, you got to come up and make tackle. Talking about top formation and things of that nature. A real focused day, attention to detail day, and just basing on alignment and assignment. 3 T's. What are they? Be fundamentally sound in our efforts, have reroute, create opportunities, tackle. We're excited about getting back to practice. You know, with that 24-hour rule, 12-hour rule we deal with, just to get back in preparation for another team. It was a good team we played on Friday. Didn't come up on the right side of the stick, but right now, I like how we're moving around at practice. We seem focused. I think we're ready to move on and transition from Friday. He ain't that dude to read you the whole time and then come here. The camaraderie. We were young in a lot of areas, but it seems like they care about each other. It seems like they love the game of football. So I'm excited about, the future, where we're going.
Ja'Kai's Villanova, class 2026, slot receiver, St. James.
Jarrell Williams, class 25. Senior, free safety, number 0. This is a competitive environment. You gotta control what the fans saying about the team. We just gotta all be bought in and trust each other.
It's good, It make us practice hard, make us go into the game more intense, take it all in, make us play better and work harder.
Both of those young men have really, took the leadership out of home in terms of what they bring to the table. Both of them have enough experience, right, to be part of the pieces of what we're trying to get and what we're trying to develop to take us where we need to go.
Our offense, we real young. We got 1 senior. We got 1 senior receiver, 1 senior lineman. We're real young, so our whole team coming back next year, so we're just working, staying patient. Hopefully all come together. I'm fast, so I built my game up that, and I got the route running, the speed, the catching. I could do it all.
Our defense, we trust each other. My role on the back end. So, I clean stuff up.
Our coaching is good. They all got experience. They all play college ball. So they all teaching us what they got taught at the big level. So we all just taking it in and accepting the coaching.
Well, we just got to be committed to what we're doing. All right, stay focused on the task at hand. We can't get caught up with fall break, with the homecoming and all those activities that it's good for the kids, it's good for the school, it's good for the community. But in terms of focusing on football, we have to be mentally tough enough to do that and be committed to what we're trying to do to stay focused on the task at hand.
It's our homecoming, so we should hold and protect the house. It's going to be good. The fans going to be out, stands going to be packed, so we're just hoping to catch a dub.
What do the Wildcats have to do to come out prepared?
You can't worry about what happened last week on the loss. Yes, sir.
Woo! Way to get up. Way to get up.
Hi, I'm Blaine Brignac with East and West St. James Farm Bureau. On behalf of all of us, we'd like to wish the players, the coaches, the parents, the cheerleaders, the band members, the best of luck in the River Bayou area this season. Farm Bureau, real service, real people.
Local, family-owned H. Worth Elevator Service is the name you should choose when it comes to your commercial or residential elevator needs. We offer elevator installation, repair, and maintenance services. Choose professional elevator contractors in Kenner, licensed and insured. 24/7 emergency services available, warranties available. Backed by over 4 generations of elevator mechanics. Call H. Worth Elevator Service for your elevator needs.
Since 2000, Bayou Granite has grown to be Southeast Louisiana's largest fabricator of stone countertops. From precise laser measurements to state-of-the-art water jet and CNC machines, we can handle your kitchen and bath needs as well as any commercial projects. Let our expert staff design and customize the right material for your home or business. Stop by our new state-of-the-art fabrication facility and showroom today at 9622 East Main Street or call us at 985-637-4911. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish.
We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Hi, Robert Adams of Parish Farm Bureau. On behalf of all our agents and staff, I want to wish all the area teams a successful season. Farm Bureau Insurance, real service, real people.
We close out the show with a look at our area volleyball teams and where they stand at the beginning of this week in the PowerPoint region. And we'll start with Division I, where Hahnville has been so good this year. They are currently the number 2 ranked Division I team in the state from Mindy LaBeouf. Their team, Mariah Mott, Ebby Zarang, you just go on and on. Macy Hollinsworth, all these players have just been peaking to an 18-4 record. So we're going to get over there and do some interviews with them for the next show. Central Lafourche in Division I, they're currently 22nd in the power rating at 15-13. And remember, the top 32 teams advance to the playoffs, which start in just a couple of weeks. In Division II, it's South Lafourche checking in at number 6. They're 22-8 to start the week. Division III, of course, your big heavy hitters, Vandebilt and E.D. White. Vandebilt has been playing very well. Of course, Neil Grace Berry got her 1,000th career kill just a couple weeks ago. Her and Shay Sanders named to the seniors all-state team, all-star team just about a week ago. So they will be representing the West squad in the East-West all-star game. Deserving honor for both of them, Shay Sanders and Neil Grace Berry. And we're wishing the best for Kenley Sebo, who suffered an injury just a couple weeks ago. She just started rehab. And look, she is a key to that team, man. She is so athletic in the middle and can hit the ball, and certainly wishing the best for Kenley Sebo to get back there for Vandebilt. E.D. White has kind of turned it around as well. They're down at number 12, but trust me, they're better than that 9-8 record indicates. Olivia Besson has just been playing lights out, was a big factor in their game and their win against a very, very strong Parkview Baptist team just about a week ago. In Division IV, you got Houma Christian at 13-6. They're number 13 in the power rankings, number 23 in the power rankings, back up to the river, St. Charles Catholic. The record not where they want it to be, but they do have a spot in the playoffs as of now. And in Division V, all the way at number 3, Coach Brandy's got Riverside at number 3 in Division V. They're looks like 13-8 on the season so far. And then Craig Hamner, of course, a VSN affiliate, Covenant Christian, CCA is ranked 5th to start this week. They got a huge game on Tuesday against Central Catholic, which we'll have on Varsity Sports Now. Their record 13-6. That will do it for now. I want to thank again all of our guests on tonight's show. Wayne Stein from St. Charles Catholic, Coach Brian Wallace from Vandebilt, of course, Levanta Davis and St. James is our team of the week, brought to you by Farm Bureau, and Justin Thomas, our producer director, getting the job done once again. I'm Eric Richey. Thanks so much for checking us out on another edition of Up the River, Down the Bayou.